Everyone is shocked to see the incredible incident of a female doctor. The story of a doctor and a beggar. 0 o'clock. A beautiful woman, dressed in a doctor's dress, came to give some money or food to the beggars in front of a mosque in the city. Whenever she went to give food to a beggar among those beggars, that beggar said in a deep, hoarse voice, "I don't want you for charity. I want to spend a night with you. That night, I will give you such happiness that even your husband could not give you." Hearing this, the girl lost consciousness. What happened then? Did the girl respond to the strange call of the fakir? Or did something else happen? To know the main details of the incident, watch the video till the end. 036. This incident took place in the city of Islampur, Madhya Pradesh, India. There lived a female doctor in this city. Her name was Fatima Begum. She was a heart specialist, and the people of the city respected her not only as a skilled doctor, but also for her gentle nature and human service. Dr. Fatima's husband Hamza had been with her for 2 years. He had died in a mysterious accident before. After the death of her husband, Fatima buried her feelings in silence and devoted herself to worship and serving people. Every morning after praying, she would go to the old Jama Masjid in the city. There was a square in front of the mosque. At 1:14, she would arrange food for the poor and the needy. The morning and evening call to prayer. The recitation of the Quran and the prayers of the people would create a spiritual atmosphere. A poor man would sit next to the entrance of the mosque every day. His face was full of dust, his clothes were dirty and torn, and his eyes showed years of accumulated pain. He would ask everyone for something or the other, but his gaze would always be fixed on the inner door of the mosque, as if he was waiting for someone. Every day, Fatima would go there after praying and distribute food to the poor people. That poor man would also take his share. Usually, he would not say anything. He would just eat with his head bowed. Always 51 Fatima, who rarely talked to people, had a slight smile on her face. She used to give food to the poor and helpless, and would get into her car and head towards the hospital. When she went to see Dr. Fatima's life was very simple and a big hospital, a house with respect and status in the society, but there was emptiness in her heart, separation from her husband, and an empty space in her life. Every day she would sit outside the mosque and pour out her sorrow among the poor and feed them. One day, the sky was covered with thick clouds and a light rain started, but still she went to the mosque like every day, after the prayers, while feeding the poor. The Fakir 226 looked at her for the first time and said, "Madam G, I don't need food. You marry me." Dr. Fatima's feet suddenly stopped. She looked at the fakir deeply. There was no fun or madness in his face. What kind of question is this? Is he crazy? Or is it an expression of some deep pain? Fatima smiled lightly and said, "Are you also saying everything? Here, take the food and save yourself from the rain." But the fakir did not take the food this time. He just looked into her eyes and then sat quietly with his head bowed. Dr. Fatima went back to the hospital, but the whole day her mind was lost in that strange word. Is this fakir really a normal person? 304. Why does his eyes remind me of my husband Hamza? He consoled himself after returning home at night. Maybe I was thinking too much. In the end, he was just a fakir. But the next day, when she went to give him food again, the fakir refused with folded hands and said, "Madam Ji, I can do something for you. Just give me a chance." Fatima's eyebrows furrowed. She said, "Look, just because I'm helping you, don't think that you can say whatever you want. Stay within your limits." But the fakir didn't look down this time. He said softly, "I know you think I'm crazy, but listen to me. I can do something for you that no one else can." There was such a firmness in his voice that Fatima was stunned for a moment. A fakir, who usually sits quietly, was speaking with such confidence today. A strange trust seemed to spread from within him. Fatima looked at him deeply and softly. He asked in a low voice, "Well, tell me, what can you do?" The fakir replied, "There is a big dishonest network operating in this city with medical testing equipment. They are releasing faulty ECG machines, fake agents, fake test kits in the market. I can give you their storage address for 18. Fatima was surprised. A fakir and a doctor. He did not immediately dismiss such information. He thought to himself, "If it is true, I can inform the police." She asked the fakir for details. "Last night, I saw some people in the old storehouse in the industrial area of the city. They were talking about how to run reports on fake kits and fake calibrations. I remember both the people and the place." Although Fatima took the matter calmly from the outside, she gave it importance inside. She told Inspector Matlab, an old patient of hers. The next day, 4:52, the inspector gave shocking news. "Dr. Sahaba, a raid was conducted at the address you gave at night. There were 40 test kit, expired reagent, new sticker and fake seal were found, and some people were arrested." Fatima was devastated. How did a fakir know so much? He decided to go outside the mosque and ask directly. After the morning prayers, food distribution was going on. The fakir was sitting on the balcony, leaning on the pillar as before. Fatima went next to him and said in a soft voice, "How did you give such solid news? Who are you? Tell me the truth." The fakir smiled softly. "Madam, I will tell you what I see." Fatima was surprised. As a fakir and a doctor, he did not immediately dismiss such information. He thought to himself, "If it is true, I can inform the police." He asked the fakir for details. "Last night, I saw some people in the old storehouse in the industrial area of the city. They were talking about how to run reports on fake kits and fake calibrations. I remember both the people and the place." Although Fatima took the matter calmly from the outside, she gave importance to it inside. She told Inspector Matlab, an old patient of hers. The next day, the inspector gave shocking news. "Dr. Saba, a raid was conducted at the address you gave at night. Their faulty test kits, expired reagents, new stickers and fake seals were found, and some people were arrested." Fatima was devastated. How did a fakir know so much? He decided to go outside the mosque and ask directly. After the morning prayers, food distribution was going on. The fakir was sitting on the balcony as before, leaning on a pillar. Fatima went next to him and said in a soft voice, "How did you give such solid news? Who are you, really?" The fakir smiled softly. "Madame Ji, I will tell you what I see." There was a secret hint in his words that made Fatima think even more. After a few days, the fakir started giving small clues about the irregular relationship of various labs and supplier chains in the city. Oxygen cylinder refill fraud, blood collection tube mistakes, fake signs on television, and every time they were proven true. Thus, Fatima could no longer think of him as an ordinary beggar. She understood that there was a big secret behind it. However, if she pressed him, he might really come out. So she decided to take her time to find out. Thus, a silent relationship was created between them. Neither charity nor compassion, but rather a strange attraction. Fatima no longer gave him money, but would sit in the courtyard of the mosque and taught. The fakir would sometimes say things that reminded Fatima of her husband Hamza. One day he suddenly said, "Madam Ji, do you remember? Didn't you say that sitting on the balcony of the mosque is different from having tea?" Fatima felt like the ground was moving from under her feet. He had only said this to Hamza. She controlled herself and continued talking with a light smile, but the question echoed in her mind. That night, on the way back from duty at the hospital, it was raining and the road was empty. Suddenly, the car stopped. Just then, the fakir arrived. As if he knew in advance, he started the engine for a few moments and said, "Madame Ji, you won't go out alone at this time of night. This city is not as simple as you think." There was a hint of anger and pain in his voice. That night, Fatima invited him to her house for dinner. Although he didn't do it at first, he agreed to her request. Sitting at the table, the fakir said softly with a serious face, "This food, this taste, reminded me of many old memories." Fatima's chest started pounding. She remained silent. But Burr decided that she had to find out the real identity of this man. She contacted her old friend and forensic expert Ravi Singh and secretly sent him a picture of the fakir. Ravi saw the picture and said that the face looked familiar, but he was not sure. "If you can give me his clothes or something used, I can do a DNA test." Hearing this, Fatima was shocked. She did not want to make the fakir suspicious. If he realized that I was keeping an eye on him, he might disappear forever. An idea came to her mind. One day she called the fakir to her house and said very softly, "Sam, I want you to start your life anew. If you want, there is a house behind my house and there is a small room there. You can stay there." The fakir, who said his name was Shyam, was initially willing, but he gave in to Fatima's sincerity and agreed. Now, Sam started living in a small room behind Dr. Fatima's house. He would sit outside the mosque all day and mingle with the poor. He would eat as a fakir and return quietly in the evening. One day Fatima asked him, "Sam, when I have given you shelter and can give you everything, then why do you go to the mosque every day?" Sam replied with a light smile, "The mosque is my world. You can see everything there if you open your eyes. You can hear everything with your ears." There was a deep philosophy behind this answer, a mystery that only the eyes of the heart are enough to understand. A few days later, Fatima received an emergency call from the hospital. A terrible fire broke out in a famous medical equipment company in the city. Fatima's chest was heaving. This was the place where the police had raided a few weeks ago based on Shyam's information. She immediately called Inspector Matlab. He was at the scene. The inspector told Dr. Saheb that almost everything had been burnt in the fire. However, some documents had been saved. There was also a picture of a man in it, who looked exactly like your husband Hamza. Fatima's chest heaved. She quickly kept the picture close to her and stared at it all night. On the back of the picture was written Hamza, 220 Medical Drive Till. These words fell like a blow to Fatima's heart. A real Hamza, is he alive? But how? His body had been identified. She couldn't sleep all night. Doubt, hope, fear, everything mixed together and created a storm in her heart and brain. The next morning, she went to the mosque and wanted to talk to Shyam, but Sam was nowhere to be found. She searched in different parts of the city, but Sam seemed to have vanished into thin air. Did someone harm him, or did he hide? Fatima became even more restless when she couldn't find Sam. After the dust cleared, it only read, "Hamza, you have to hide the truth." Fatima's hands started shaking as she read this sentence. Is Hamza really alive, or is it all part of a bigger conspiracy? She was in doubt. Should she confront the company owner directly first, or reveal Sam's true identity? That night, she called Sam to her house. As soon as Sam entered the house, he placed the picture he had found in the warehouse on Fatima's table. His voice became hard. "Is this you? Tell me the truth. Sam, who are you?" Sam looked deeply at the picture. A strange light shone in his eyes. He said in a soft voice, "Madam G, some questions only take time to answer, but I promise, I will never harm you." Fatima's patience broke. He said, "Sam, I am a doctor. I have the right to know the truth. If you don't tell me everything now, I will call the police." Sam smiled and shook his head and said, "If you hand me over to the police, you will never know the truth that is involved with you and Hamza." Fatima was devastated. Her silence was broken. At Sam's secret hint, he leaned over and whispered an address. "There is a secret room in the basement of the main office of this company." Fatima immediately informed Inspector Matlab that all the illegal evidence was hidden there. That night, the police conducted a raid. What was found in the basement was unbelievable. Faulty test kits, expired medicines, new stickers, fake calibration seals, and black money accounts. And in that document, a name kept coming up again and again. Hamza. Many high-ranking employees of the company were arrested. But still, Fatima could not find peace in her mind. Sam has become more mysterious now. Sometimes he disappears for the whole night and then returns in the morning as if nothing had happened. There was no fear in his eyes, but a strange calm, as if he had found the answer to some big question. One day, Fatima looked at Shyam again. This time, he didn't ask anything. He just read his face. Shyam sat silently, an unfamiliar look of comfort on his face. That evening, Fatima called forensic expert Ravi. "When will the results of the DNA test come?" Ravi replied, "In 2 days." "But listen, Fatima, if that person is really who you think he is, then your life will change completely." Fatima's chest was pounding. That night, a call came from an unknown number. The voice on the other end was deep and threatening. "Dr. Fatima, you have become very clever. But if you want to get to the truth, you will have to pay the price. Leave Sam or you will face terrible consequences." The call was disconnected. Fatima's fingers started shaking. So all this is true. Sam is not an ordinary fakir. He is actually part of a terrible mystery. But now there is no way back. It has become important to know Sam's secret, no matter what. She knows that every night Sam goes to a dark alley. He leaves the mosque and goes to the ruins and meets some people there who never come in front during the day. Fatima now decides that she will go after Shyam herself. She calls MATLAB and says, "I will not stop anymore. Whatever the truth is, I want to see Hamza's face. Is he alive or not?" The mystery behind Sam's behavior, the mystery hidden in his words, the seriousness of his face. Everything was now moving towards a big revelation. But the truth that Fatima still did not know was that Sam was none other than her husband Hamza. Hamza's death came to light 2 years ago as a road accident. But that was just a conspiracy. Hamza was a software engineer who worked for the city's largest medical equipment company, against whom Sam was constantly giving hints. Hamza soon realized that the company was not only selling medical equipment, but was also involved in faulty test kits, fake certificates, money laundering, and many other black market activities. He decided to expose these crimes, but the company's owner, Raghav Malhotra, conspired to silence him. A fake road accident was staged, but Hamza miraculously survived. To save his life, he had to accept his death and make everyone believe that he was dead. He took refuge in the dark world of the city and took the form of a beggar, sitting outside the mosque, quietly observing the surroundings, and seeing Fatima once a day became a new part of his life. Hamza thought that if I came forward, Raghav would not only hurt me, but also my wife. Which is why he became Sam and thought about every step. And without Fatima's knowledge, he slowly started to shake the roots of this dark business with her help. One night, Fatima and Inexpect decided to follow Sam. Sam, as he did every day, got up from the balcony of the mosque at Isa time and started walking through the dark, winding streets of the city. He kept looking back. It felt like someone was following him. After a long time, he stood in front of an old, burned-out warehouse. This was the warehouse where a terrible fire had broken out a few weeks ago. Fatima's chest began to heave. Is this the place where the documents with Hamza's name on them had been found? Had Sam come here to look for something special? MATLAB gestured to Fatima. She should go to the back of the warehouse. Inside, a few tall, thin men were talking to Sam slowly. The man had a thick beard on his face. Their words could not be heard clearly. But suddenly the man handed Sam a small packet and quickly disappeared into the alley. MATLAB whispered, "We need to see that packet." The next morning, Ravi called and said, "The DNA test report has arrived. Come directly to my office. You can't say anything over the phone." But before I got the envelope, Inspector MATLAB told me in a panic, "Fatima, be careful now. Roghav's people have kidnapped Shyam." Fatima's chest heaved. Now there was no more doubt. Sam Hamza, whom everyone thought was dead, was alive and was fighting to break this terrible syndicate of fake medical equipment. On a stormy night, Fatima took MATLAB to a dilapidated factory outside the city. Sam was tied up inside. Raghav stood in front and smiled and said, "Are you the software guy or Hamza?" Sam remained silent. He just stared at her. Just then, MATLAB entered with the police. "Raghav, your game is over." A situation was created that could lead to shooting. But seeing the police crowd, the goons surrendered. Fatima ran to Shyam. She untied the rope and said in a trembling voice, "Sham, are you okay?" Hamza whispered with a weapon in his eyes, "Did you save me today, Fatima? Until now, I have only been alive by seeing you from afar, standing on the stairs of the factory." Fatima opened the envelope given by Ravi. The DNA match written on the paper was 99% Hamza. Her eyes got wet. She held Hamza's hand. "Is this you? That's why I am Hamza." Hamza shook her head. "I have never been there. I used to sit outside the mosque every day and see you. Your little donation, your little smile kept me alive." After a few weeks, the two of them were seen together in the morning light in the courtyard of the mosque. Hamza was no longer hiding his identity in clean clothes. Fatima asked, "What now?" Hamza smiled softly and replied, "Now is a new beginning and there is no secret, just me and Satya." The sound of the call to prayer was coming from the minaret of the mosque. The morning sun was shining on their faces and time seemed to be passing. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel to get more such romantic stories. See you again in a new video. Until then, stay well, stay healthy, stay safe. With all the best. Goodbye. Thank you.